I'm going to run through this draft, and I will say that even though Yahoo is a 1-minute timer, the meeting, I showed up a minute and a half, quote unquote, late with my 5th pick, and I got auto picked. So the first 4 people must have drafted so rapid fire that one of the few players I generally have faded early round 1, Austin Eckler, did end up on my team. But as we mentioned before, round 1 actually ends up being a good running back time. So even getting the running back I didn't love, the team still looks great. So here's how it started. Austin Eckler, round 1. Rounds 2 and 3, we pound the young receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, then Chris Olave. We're feeling really good. Round 4, I took Breece Hall. That felt like a nice home run swing in sort of the late part of the 4th round. And I knew that there were running back values coming up because if you read our article, you'll know who those guys are. Round 5, auto pick, Keenan Allen. We all know you can't say no to Keenan Allen in round 5. I thought about taking Herbert in round 7 to stack with Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. I also thought about Darren Waller at tight end, and I said, you know what? I'm going to kick myself if I have Eckler and Allen on this team and I don't get Justin Herbert. So I took Herbert in round 6. Waller went ahead of me in round 7, but it's okay. We took every podcast, we talk about David Montgomery. I got David Montgomery. I know I had Breece Hall early on, so I wanted early running back production. I want a guy that's stable, and if Jahmyr Gibbs goes down, he elevates and becomes a league winner. So we took Montgomery. Then we went with Marquise Brown in round 8. That felt like a good price. Ended up with Pat Freiermuth at tight end as the consolation prize for missing on Darren Waller. And then I think this is textbook for how to close out your fantasy bench. Went Jamal Williams, a guy who's actually a starting running back the first 3 weeks. And then anything ever happens to Alvin Kamara later in the season, again, 1 injury away, he's the starter. Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston, we talked about both, the round 1 draft capital rookie receivers. And then I ended with 3 running backs because we want the 1 injury away type guys. I don't actually know who the starter is in Miami. Ryan does not know either. I took both Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert. The way I see it is at the end of your draft, let's just try and lock up something. You're basically trying to lock up a starting roster spot at some point. And I'm pretty sure one of these guys is going to be the main ball carrier for the Dolphins. They were both RB2s last year. We'll kind of see who it is. I've got them both on my team. And then I took a 1 injury away running back in Jaylen Warren. Anything happens to Najee Harris, I believe the 3rd string running back is currently Anthony McFarland, which sounds to me like if Najee Harris goes down, Jaylen Warren gets pretty much all the touches. So that right there, I think is a pretty good way to build a roster where I've got the Chargers super stack with Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. What if Mike Williams doesn't fire? I might even be able to start Quentin Johnston on my bench. We've got the other upside receivers. And at the end of the day, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Chris Olave and Keenan Allen do feel like every week starters at receiver. Pat Freiermuth at tight end isn't my favorite, but I think he can actually score within 2 to 3 fantasy points of the Hawkinsons, of the Waller types. And then at running back, it feels pretty good when you go, wow, week 1, I'll start Austin Eckler and David Montgomery. I could even swap out Montgomery for Jamal Williams. And then I have Breece Hall, where a couple weeks in, I begin starting him, and he looks like he's probably going to be Aaron Jones plus for Aaron Rodgers in fantasy.
Catch more of the conversation only on the 33rd Team Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcasts.